class, this is Ma'am Kiamko, and our subject for today is Crime Detection and Investigation 4, which is the fundamentals of criminal investigation and intelligence. So today we will continue our topic with the midterm that was delayed due to the pandemic virus. Disregard the previous lecture was given to you, and we will start a new topic for the coverage of your midterm. And so much for that. The coverage for your midterm will be, and we will be tackle about warrantless arrest and detention, interview and interrogation, and intelligence. What we are going to be discussed is under the warrantless arrest and detention. We are going to discuss how the person is brought into custody of law, the purpose of warrant of arrest, differentiate arrest with warrant and warrantless arrest, and discuss the rules in making arrest and how warrant of arrest is being executed. So, we will proceed to warrantless arrest and detention. Remember, class, that in conducting of investigation is nothing or useless without arresting the perpetrator of the crime. So when we say perpetrator, or meaning a person who carries out a harmful, illegal, or immoral act. So the one who participated the said crime being committed. So when we say arrest, class, arrest is referred to as the taking of the person suspected to have committed an act which the law defines it is a crime into custody of any law enforcement agencies who has the authority to do so in order to answer queries in line with matters concerning the commission of the crime. So I repeat, when we say arrest, is referred to as the taking of the person suspected to have committed an act which the law defines it is a crime into custody of any law enforcement agencies who has the authority to do so in order to answer queries in line with matters concerning the commission of the crime. So in legally, under the rules of court, section 11, rule 113, an arrest is the taking of any person into the custody of law in order that he may be bound to answer for the commission of the offense. So in the course of investigation, class, if the identity of the person suspected to be committed a crime was already established and evidence of guilt pointing him or her as the perpetrator of the crime is strong, then investigators should secure a warrant in order to arrest the person. Any person suspected to have committed a crime can only be lawfully arrested after securing a warrant. So remember, class, that any person to have committed a crime or suspected to have committed a crime can only be lawfully arrested after securing a warrant. However, a person can be lawfully arrested by virtue of warrantless arrest, or which is, in other words, the citizen arrest. Warrantless arrest is defined as the arrest made by the law enforcer without the benefit of the warrant. So, ibig sabihin, kahit wala kang warrant in your possession, you can still arrest a person with the virtue of warrantless arrest. Arrest without a warrant is possible provided that either of the following circumstances is present. So, the warrantless arrest will only be lawfully provided that either of the following circumstances is present. So, we have three circumstances in warrantless arrest. Number one, it is in flagrante delicto. Number 2, hot pursuit. And number 3 is escape. Now, we will discuss about the in flagrante delicto. When we say in flagrante delicto, this is the person to be arrested is about to commit, actually committing, or have just committed an act to which the law defines it is a crime in the presence of the person who will make the arrest. So I repeat, when we say in flagrante delicto, that the person to be arrested is about to commit, actually committing, or have just committed an act to which the law defines it is a crime in the presence of the person who will make the arrest. So class, kaya natin tinatawag or we consider warrantless arrest as a citizen arrest because anyone can make the arrest so long as the three circumstances or either of the three circumstances is present. When we say that three circumstances, those are the in flagrante delicto, the hot pursuit, and the escape. In order for you to arrest the person in or legally. Like for instance, we will be having an example for about to commit the crime. Like for instance, may alitan si Mr. B and Mr. C. Then Mr. B saw Mr. C walking down the road, which he attempted to stab Mr. C. Unconsciously, that Mr. Policeman was just at the back of them. So policeman right there and then can arrest Mr. B due to attempt to stab Mr. C in his presence, and that's constitute about to commit the crime. Now another example. Pedro is inside of department store, then he likes the watch. Unfortunately, it's too expensive. Pedro get the watch and put it inside his pocket unconsciously that Mamang Police is just at the back of him making observation that's constitute actually committing the crime. The moment that Pedro put the watch inside his pocket, that's already constitute a crime or which is actually committing the crime. There and then, Mamang Police can arrest Pedro by virtue of warrantless arrest. So another example, one shoot Mario and that caused of Mario's death. Unconsciously, SPO4 is on the same place, caught Pedro pointing the gun ahead Mario. SPO4 can arrest Pedro immediately because his act is constitute just committed the crime. Now, let's talk about hot pursuit. We already talked about in flagrante delicto and now we will move hot pursuit. When we say hot pursuit, guys, that the person to be arrested have committed an act to which the law defines it is a crime. Ibig sabihin that the person has already committed an act. And the person making the arrest have probable cause that the same person probably is guilty of a crime. Under the rule of hot pursuit arrest, the policeman should have knowledge that the suspect committed the crime. So, that the policeman should have direct knowledge that the suspect has really committed the crime. The test is probable cause, which the Supreme Court has defined as an actual belief or reasonable grounds of suspicion. Probable cause simply means as a reasonable basis to establish a well-founded belief that the person may have committed an act to which the law defines it is a crime. Under this rule, the policeman does not need to actually witness the execution of acts constituting the offense, but he must have the direct knowledge or view of the crime right after its commission. So that is probable cause. So let's say for an example in hot pursuit. A policeman pursues a car driven by suspected bank robber and there and then arrested the driver because it's constitute as hot pursuit and by virtue of warrantless arrest. Now, let's move to escapee. While escapee class, that the person to be arrested is one who escaped from penal confinement. So, escapee is very self-explanatory, so I'm not going to explain anymore regarding escapee. According here, that the person to be arrested is one who escaped from penal confinement, and that is escapee. Furthermore, inquest proceeding will be done if the person was arrested without the benefit of the warrant. So, inquest proceeding will be done if the person was arrested without the benefit of the warrant. Bakit inaresto yung tao even without the benefit of warrant? Kasi the one who make the arrest by the virtue of warrantless arrest. So, why inquest proceeding must be done? This is conducted to ensure that the arrest made is legal and in accordance with the law. So, why inquest proceeding must be done? This is conducted to ensure that the arrest made is legal and in accordance with the law. Let's talk about inquest proceeding. When we say inquest proceeding or inquest proceeding defined is as the informal and summary investigation conducted by public prosecutor in criminal case involving persons arrested without the benefit of the warrant to determine if the person so arrested should remain under the custody and be charged accordingly. That's the reason why does inquest proceeding must be done. If the person to be arrested or if the person was arrested without the benefit of the warrant to ensure that the arrest is made illegal and of course to determine if the person so arrested should remain under the custody and be charged accordingly. So, we will move to rules in making arrest. In making arrest class, the rules of courts provides the following guidelines such that, number 1, it should be made by actual restraint of a person to be arrested, or number 2, by submission of the person to be arrested to the custody of any person making the arrest. It must be noted that the event of arresting the person alleged or the suspect allegedly to have committed a crime, the person making the arrest should observe, number 1, not to use any unnecessary force. Number 2, use only force if necessary to arrest the person. Any form of violence is not allowed, of course, since it may cause the physical evidence to be incompetent and therefore inadmissible as evidence during court presentation. When we say inadmissible, it is not able to be allowed or considered in a legal case or not admissible. Inadmissible meaning not able to be allowed or considered in a legal case. So, if you apply force the moment you arrest the suspect, so, the case will just be dismissed and because of that physical evidence is not incompetent anymore. So, evidence is inadmissible during the court presentation. So, after has been issued by the Honorable Court, remember class that only the court can issue warrant. So, any law enforcer directed to case its execution shall exhaust all the remedies to arrest the person whose name appear in the warrant. So, you cannot arrest person for proxy. Execution of warrant. When we say execution of warrant, simply means as carrying out the duty to find the person whose name was written in the warrant and cause of his arrest and detention. In executing the warrant, the following should be observed. Number 1, a warrant can be executed at any time of the day. So, it only means that you can execute a warrant at night, even at dawn. So, number 2, the person making the arrest shall inform the person to be arrested that a warrant has been issued for his arrest. And of course, number 3, it must be executed within 10 days from the moment it was received. That will be the duty of the law enforcement who received the warrant. However, the person making the arrest shall proceed with the arrest of the person even without informing him of the cause of arrest or that a warrant was issued for him to be arrested, provided that the either of the following is present. So, I will just repeat. The person making the arrest shall proceed with the arrest of the person even without informing him of the cause of arrest or that a warrant was issued for him to be arrested, provided that either of the following is present. Number 1, the person flees or tumakbo. Number 2, the person forcibly resisted. And number 3, if it will hamper the successful arrest of the person. So, moreover, class, if the person whose name appeared in the warrant cannot be located or traced within 10 working days upon its receipt, the law enforcer tasked to execute the warrant shall make a report to the judge who issued the same, explaining the reasons for the failure to arrest the person with the time given by the court. But of course, the warrant of arrest still be valid. So, you just have to inform the court or the judge who make the warrant of arrest that you were not able to secure the warrant or to execute the warrant within 10 working days. So that's all for today. Remember, class, your question after watching this video will be recorded as your quiz and your attendance as well. For attendance of this video, comment down your section, example A. If you are section A, for acknowledgement, drop your comments in our prescribed group chat. I'll answer all your questions in our group chat. So, see you next video.